Hello guys, welcome back. We have seen deploying Java and .NET applications in our previous videos using Jenkins. In this video, we'll see how we can deploy a PHP application to the Apache remote server. I'll show you step-by-step process to set up the jobs in Jenkins. So let's start. Here is the complete flow of the project what we are going to do. First, the development process or the development guy will pull the code which being stored in the remote repository. Next, once he does the code changes or write any new modules, what he can do, he can simply push the code to the remote repository and automatically a webhook trigger will be triggered and the Jenkins tool will start the building process and deliver the final product to the remote server, any staging server or development server or your production server. So the code can be deployed to any of the server. So once the code is deployed, we'll see one application like this. Okay, it will be a technician report and it will be a login page of one of the application. Once the code is deployed, we'll see this kind of applications, and I'll show you after modifying and changing these applications how it can be automatically deployed by the Jenkins. So let's start. What we'll do first, let me show you how we'll write the Jenkins file or the pipeline script. So this job I'm going to set up as a pipeline script. I'm going to set up a pipeline automations for this. Now let me show you how we'll achieve this one. So what I'm going to do, I have a project, okay, PHP project. You can see here it's named as mbaquatech. Okay, this project is there and I have created a branch. Feature 1.2 is there, feature 1.2. so this is the branch I'm going to build and deploy into our remote server. Deploy into our Apache server. So what I need to add a Jenkins file into the parent folder of this project. So what I'll do, I already have cloned this repository to my local machine, and you can see here I have this feature 1.2 is already cloned, and I'm using VS Code editor to edit the program or edit the code. So let's start writing the Jenkins file. So what I have to do, in the parent folder I'm going to create a new file named as Jenkinsfile. So Jenkinsfile. Okay, so I'm going to write in a declarative pipeline. So let's quickly write it down, pipeline, and here I'll just put as isn't any because I'm going to run this on the master server. Okay, so my master server, that's why I have written as isn't any, so any isn't it will run. And what I need only one stage and one step will be there because it is going to deploy the applications into the remote server. So let me write the stages here, stages, and inside the stages I will have one stage here. So that stage will be, suppose I'll write it down like deploy to remote, something like this. And what I need then we have to just write the steps here, steps. And okay, so in this steps what we need, we are going to copy the PHP package, copy the PHP files or the entire folder to the Apache server, to the remote server where Apache server is installed. So what I'll do, I need the shell prompt to write the shell script to copy the files. So I'll just use the sh module here, and what I need to copy, so I'll use scp, and what I need the entire workspace folder to be copied to the Apache server's document folder. Okay, so what I'll do here, scp, and I need the entire folder to be copied. So what I'll do here, write the variable name as WORKSPACE and start. So what I'll do here, everything inside the WORKSPACE will be copied, and I need the root user and give the server name. So in my case, what I've done here, in my case, I have a server called LAMP server, and this is the LAMP server I'm going to use to deploy the code. So I need to copy this IP address here. What I need, go here, put the IP address and then the path where the files need to be copied. I'll put var www/html, and I have a folder called mbaquatech. So under this folder everything will be copied. Under this folder everything will be copied. So it is very simple, right, to write this code. Now what I'll do here, so need to be changed something here. I think wrong. Okay, now it looks good. What I did here, I just simply used scp command to copy the entire things in the workspace to the folder mbaquatech on this server. Okay, that's very simple. Now let's little modify this. So what I have done here, I have just hard coded the IP address here. So this is not actually a good idea to hard code everything in the code. So what I'll do here, I'll just create one environment variables. Let's create one environment variables here, environment. In this environment block, I'm going to keep one environment variable. Suppose I'll put it as staging underscore server equal to, just give the IP address there. Okay, just keep the IP address there. Control C and put the IP address here. Okay, and we need to replace this variable, environment variable, here. So how we'll do that? Simply remove this IP address from the code and put $ curly braces and put the staging server here, staging underscore server. Okay, so what we did here, scp workspace and root @ and this is the staging server where the code need to be copied to this folder. Okay, now everything is done in as per our things, because the entire folder we are going to copy. So now let's save this file. I saved it. Okay, after we save, let's commit this one and then push this code to our Jenkins file, to our remote repository. Okay, so let's add to staging. Okay, now commit. Just give a commit message here like added Jenkinsfile, something I wrote it here. Now commit, save it, sync the changes. So when I click on the sync changes, it will push the code and will make sure the local and remote repository are into sync. Okay, now everything is committed, all looks good. So what I do, if I go to our branch 1.2 here, we can see let's refresh this 1.2 branch and we'll see our 41 seconds ago our Jenkins file added into the remote. From locally I just pushed this Jenkins file to the remote repository. Okay, fine. The Jenkins file, you can see here, this is the Jenkins file added. So what do we need now? Our Jenkins file is created. Let's go ahead and create a job in the Jenkins. So what I'll do here, I have into my Jenkins dashboard. Let's go to new item and give a name as like I'll give as mbaquatech. Okay, and it will be pipeline project, pipeline. Okay, just give a description based on your requirement. I'll just give Marlin Blue Aquatic, something like this. And what I need, I'll just ignore all these things. Okay, and just for the time being, just ignore this build trigger and all. Let's go to the pipeline and I'll just use pipeline script from source code management. I'll just use git here and get the URL. So let's go ahead and copy the URL here, click on this, get the URL, and paste it here. As it is a private repository, it is required the credentials to log in, so I have already my credentials created for this, so I added it here. Now I need the branch. You have to give the branch which branch you need to build and deploy, so I'll just give as feature slash 1.2. this is the branch which needs to be build and deploy. So that's all looks good. Now go ahead and save it. So let's go ahead and build the project. Click on the build now. You can see here our project is getting built. So authentication started by user Ranjit Kumar Swami, and it is getting built, and it just created a workspace called mbaquatech. Good. And the first things it's failed because there is no files to be okay. As you can see here, it says no such file mbaquatech. Okay, here is the problem. So what we have done here, we have used to copy the folders and the entire directory, right? There will be many directories and files. Instead of using -r option, we simply used scp. So let's go ahead and modify the code here. What I'll do, let's edit, and we need to modify this code and add -r, scp-r, so it will copy the entire folder. Now save this, commit the changes. I directly commit the changes here itself on the GitHub page itself. Okay, what I do now, let's go ahead and build the project again. Okay, you can see here it is now success. So it copied all the folder and files to mbaquatech folder. So if I go ahead and just refresh this page, you can see it is working. Now what we saw so far, it copied the entire folder, which is not required. The folder could have hundreds of files, right? So the project could have hundreds of files, and we don't need each files and every files to be copied to the server. Instead what we need to copy those files, deploy those particular files which are being modified recently by the developer, and it can be copied or deployed to the server. So let's go ahead and modify the script a little bit. Okay, so what I do now, instead of writing the entire copy, to simply copy the folder, the entire folders, because if it is the folder size is more, it takes more time to deploy the code. Okay, and it's also not good to copy entire files, entire things which is not being used. So here what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write some script to filter out the files which are being modified just suppose 5 minutes before or 10 minutes before, and those files will be copied along. So what we'll do, let's modify the script, as I'm going to write multi-line scripts. Okay, so what I'll do, we need to put in a triple quote here, put this like this, triple quote, and here I'm going to write the scripts. So what I need to put in a for loop to find out the files which are being modified or edited or written or created, suppose last 10 minutes. So what I'll do, I'll create a for loop, suppose for, I'll give as file name in, and you have to give a find statement here. I have to write the find command to find out the file details. So what I'll do here, let's write find, give the workspace name. From the workspace I need to find it out which are the file modified recently. Okay, workspace, and give, suppose I need the only files which are being modified, and type f, and I need mmin hyphen mm. Let me little maximize this one. So what I did here, I just wrote it down, hyphen mm minute. Okay, now suppose I need within the 10 minutes, I just wrote it like within the 10 minutes. Okay, so it will search the files which being modified within the last 10 minutes. Okay, so what this command it will do, it will find it out everything which are being modified in the within the last 10 minutes. So whenever we are modifying using, as we are using git and we are using modifying some other files also, right, what will happen sometimes, this will also get those unnecessary unwanted hidden files also. Okay, and those also will be copied. I don't want those files to be copied, so what I can do, I can filter it out. Okay, so as per this requirement, suppose I'll filter right using grep-v, so I can ignore these patterns. Okay, suppose .git, because it will generate some .git hidden folders, and there are lots of git files will be there. And also I don't need this Jenkins file, because I'm going to update the Jenkins file frequently. To change something unnecessary, it will be copied. I don't want this Jenkins file to be copied to my deployment server. Okay, I need only the particular codes to be copied. So this is the simple filter I put it here. Based on your requirement, you can add it the filter. Okay, so now you understood how exactly you can write it down. Now what I need, I have to do here. And if you understood the self scripting, you can know how to write the for loop for the self scripting and end with done. Now in between I have to write this scp command. So what we will do here, whatever the files, right, everything will be listed into this file name, and I want this file name to be copied. Now what I need, suppose there are two files modified, and this file name will contain two files, and each time, and this will be executed 2 times, this line will be executed. I want this file name to be copied. So I need to modify little bit to get exact file name. So in our case, or in my case, what happens, it gets the workspace with the file name, because it will get the entire workspace with the file name. What I need, I exactly need some particular folder and the file name. I don't need all the entire folder to be copied, the long path to be copied. I need the exact file to be copied. So I need little more filterization. Okay, so what I'll do here, I will write one statement here. Suppose let me first do echo $, and file name. So what it will do, it will just print the file name here. Now I need to filter it out, this file name, and what I need to filter it out based on the file it is being modified. So what I need, using scd command here, further I'll just put it, I'll refresh something. Suppose I'll put like this, and what I need, okay, so the entire, if I can go to the logs here. Okay, if you go to the logs here, you can see the file, suppose this index.html. what you can see here, this gives the entire line, and if you copy this one, it entirely will be copied. Okay, and which is not good, right? So what I need this particular line, right? Suppose with mbaquatech, and this will be removed, and I need only this index.html file to be copied to the respective folder, So if I go here, in our case, mbaquatech will be, the parent folder where the rest of the things will be copied. Like this, if you see this line mbaquatech, and the next folder will be job openings, right? And here next folder will be technician report. Something if you modify in the technician report, right, and that particular index.html file should go to the technician report, not to the mbaquatech folder like this. Okay, so what I have to do, let's edit something here. So I'm going to modify this, and I'll put it here like this modification will be a little tricky here, so I'll put the job underscore name. So what it will do, it will get the job underscore name is the name of the job. So name of the job in our case is mbaquatech. So it will get and replace this mbaquatech with space. So that what it will do, will get two field here. One field will be this one and another field will be index.html. Okay, so I need a space over here. So what it will do, it will just remove mbaquatech and instead of mbaquatech it will give one space, so that it will be separate. That line will be separated as two field. Now using awk command, what I can do, I can just print the second field because I am interested in the second field, right? So what I'll do here, I put awk here, and because there is no field separator, only space is there, I don't need to specify the space as a field separator. By default it will take as the space. So I'll put the print statement to print out this. So within the curly braces, I'll just put out print $2. I need the second field to be copied. Got it? So what it will do, it will just write, it will get the which file name with the subfolder to be copied. So what I need this to be the value generated from this line to be stored in a variable. So let's create a variable called as fill and put this entire into a subset in the dollar. You can see here I put it dollar parenthesis here and ended parenthesis. So entire will be one piece of code, it will be executed and the value of this code will be stored under this variable. Got it? Now I need this to be copied to the folder, right? So what I need now, I need this field to be added here. Instead of star, I just can put the file name here, fill, okay, and same thing also with the same field name with mbaquatech with the folder, and the file name will be also put it here. Okay, what I need, I just put dollar fill. So you'll be thinking why you remove the slash here, because if I remove this mbaquatech from this line, if you see here, suppose I remove only mbaquatech, it will also gives us one slash here. So I remove the extra slash from this line so that it will also come with a slash. Got the point? Now everything is done. So we wrote this entire script to do our work. So what it will do, those files which are modified, that files will alone be copied. Okay, now let's go ahead and save it, commit the changes. Remember, instead of I editing here, what I did, I directly edited in the GitHub branches, because as GitHub, you know, it provides us a development platform. You can edit here also directly. I edited in the branch 1.2, the Jenkins file, it directly edited here. Okay, so let's go ahead and build the project and see how it works. Let's build now. If everything fine, it will just give us the success result. Okay, so it is failed. So you can see here our entire code, right? You can see here why it is failing. It is failing because of .git. Unnecessary these files are being copied, and that's why the script is getting failed, which we had written a filter to remove this one, grep-b, which will, what it will do, it will remove out these files and give the file which is exactly modified. Let's do some changes to that code. Okay, if I go to the Jenkins file, here what I can see here, go to the Jenkins file. Since the grep is not supported here, let me just filter it out with grep options. Okay, so and I can just give grep-v Jenkinsfile also. Okay, now let's save it, commit the changes. Let's go ahead and modify some things in the project. So if I go ahead and suppose I want to modify in the technician report. Let's go ahead and modify in the login.php. okay, in this login.php I'll just add one line here. Suppose let's add one h1 tag here. Okay, h1, and here I'll just write it loud like Jenkins. I just wrote one line here, Jenkins. Let's commit the changes. Okay, go ahead, read it. See, it is now success. You can see it is now success because of that, because egrep is not supporting this Linux flavor. That's why it is not. It's not, maybe egrep is not available there. Now you can see here. It is only, see, it is only taken this login.php file. The rest of the things are ignored, which are modified, even the Jenkins file, and it is deployed to the particular mbaquatech and technician report login.php. Now if I go ahead and refresh this page, you will see here, see, now we had modified the file and had added one line. It's called Jenkins. We can see here how it is deployed, right? We just modified and automatically it's got deployed. Now what we can do, we can add a GitHub hook trigger so that whenever a developer do some changes, it will automatically get triggered and deploy. We don't have to do anything, right? So what we can do here, so we can go to the project mbaquatech Marlin Blue Aquatech, and you can go here, the repository where Marlin Blue Aquatech is there. Go there, go to the settings, and here what we need to set up the webhooks. Go to the webhooks, and you can set up the webhooks here, create add webhook and do that. So I have already a webhook created. Now what I can do, just go and edit it, verify with your authentication. So I have added multi authentication, that's why it's asking for your case. It's, if you have set up, it will get it, or else no. Okay, so you can see here I have just added this payload URL. Payload URL will be your Jenkins URL with GitHub webhook. Okay, so our Jenkins URL is 43.205.207.190. So 43.205.207.190.8080, and the API GitHub webhook should be there. Okay, so all this you have to just simply add this payroll URL and content type application session, and send me everything if you want to, and update the webhook. Now it is done. So once you set up this webhook, what we have to do, go to the project, configure, and now we have in the triggering options, what we need the triggering option as GitHub hook trigger for git SCM polling. Let's select this one, save it. Done. Our project is done. Now you can see here a sixth build was, the last build was sixth number. Now what I do, I handed over everything to the development team. Now the development team is going to work and focus on the development only. He does not have to worry about the build and delivery or deploy to the staging environment. So development people will work on the development side, and the testing people will consider and focus on the testing side. As there are lots of changes I have done in the remote GitHub page, I have to just do some sync here, right? Reconcile. Let's click on the sync. Okay, you can see automatically it put everything from, got from everything, pulled from everything from the remote and updated in my local machine. All these things have been done. So what I'll do now, let's go ahead and modify something in the technician report. I remove this Jenkins and add something else, so that let's see what it looks like. So here I had added Jenkins. What I can do here, I can just add it Jenkins for continuous deployment. Something I add a big line. Jenkins for continuous development, a big line for that particular frame. Okay, so let's save this one and commit the changes and push into the remote repository. So I'll go here, add to stage area, commit the changes, and just add like added new line, something like this, and commit. Save the commit, sync the changes. So once I do sync changes, what it will do, it will push the code to the remote repository. Okay, so what happens, the code has now been pushed to the remote repository, and if we go to our automatically, if I go here, you can see here in our Jenkins we did not do anything, simply the 7th number build has started and it went success. You can see it is success and this login.php file has been copied. If I go and refresh this page, see our code has been changed. Now quickly I'll go ahead and do some multiple changes and see how these files are going to be picked up and delivered. Now let me delete this line, save it, and I'll modify something from this mbaquatech index.html. Suppose I'll add something here. Instead of mbaquatech, I can add something called as Jenkins. This is the title of this page. Okay, now let's save this one, commit entire code changes, commit 2 changes, right? Blank commit I do. Good. So what happened here? Let's commit. Okay, I have to add something here. Added new lines, something I gave it here. Commit the changes, save, and sync the changes. Okay. So you can see here, as soon as the developer done some changes and push the code to the remote repository, the trigger automatically, the trigger will happen. If I go here, 8th number build will be starting. See, automatically the 8th number build is being triggered by the webhook trigger and it is success. If I go to the logs, you can see here we have multiple files now copied. One is the mbaquatech index.html and the other one was the login.php file. So the rest of the files are not copied, as there are hundreds of files are there. Only those files which are being modified recently got copied and deployed. So if I go and refresh this page, these things, everything will be removed. Now we got the original page. Similarly, if I go to the mbaquatech also, this is another application, mbaquatech. So okay, so it should be under mbaquatech. Okay, mbaquatech, then mbaquatech. Hit enter. We'll see here mbaquatech page is now opening. But in the, if you go to this headings, right, the title of the web browser, in the browser title, if you see here, it says as Jenkins, right? It gives us as Jenkins here. Now you understood how we can write our pipeline script and deploy the PHP applications using Jenkins. Hope you understood clearly from step by step how we can write the script. So if you are good into automations, if you are good into scripts, you can write whatever you want, right? It's up to your mindset and up to your requirement, what you want to achieve it. Hope you understood clearly everything. If you have any doubt or any concerns, please do write me in the comment section below. I'll try to answer your queries. If you have not subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe now so that you'll get notified when I add more videos on my channel. Thank you.